Today's workout is a 15-minute hormone balancing cardio workout. This workout will help balance your hormones with gentle yet effective movements that will optimize your postpartum recovery and leave you feeling energized, not depleted. It's full body and timed intervals, and you can work at your own pace. All you need is a mat. Let's get started. Today's workout is a 15-minute postpartum hormone balancing cardio workout. So we're gonna respect our bodies and our postpartum hormones by keeping our heart rate low, the intensity down, but still getting into that fat burning cardio zone and burning some good calories. So you won't need any equipment, 1 minute work, 20 minutes rest, so you can work at your own pace. We're gonna get started at the end of our mat with a monster walk. So take your feet just under your hips. We're gonna take the hands over the chest, sit back, walk it out slowly, side to side. You can go just the length of your mat here. So we're not doing super big steps out. I want you to focus on keeping your hip, knee, and ankle in alignment. And then focus on sitting your butt back. And it doesn't necessarily matter how deep you go into that squat. It matters more what your posture and alignment is. So your chest should be up, your shoulders should be back and down. So you're here, not here. See, I'm lower here, but my shoulders are back and hunched over. So we wanna make sure we've got that good posture. And then once you feel like you can maintain that, you go lower in your squat. That core is braced the whole time. These are great moves for the core and those side glutes. All a part of strengthening the core and pelvic floor, which is really always something we're trying to do postpartum. All right, let's rest there. We're gonna go to a ball slam. So pretend you have a weighted sand ball, like those ones you see at the gym. We're gonna take it over the shoulders and we're gonna throw it down, and as we throw, it's a full body throw. We really wanna hear it slam. So get into those legs, squat down as you do that. Lift in 3, 2, 1. Slam it down, pick it up. Slam it down, pick it up. So you've seen these maybe in my workouts before where we're going a little bit faster. This one I want you to focus on going a little slower. A good indicator of your heart rate level and staying in that fat burning zone is being able to talk through the workout. Could you have a conversation? That's a good indicator, again, that heart rate is not too high. You're not breathless. That's not the goal in these workouts. We want to keep that heart rate a little bit lower, still elevated to where you feel like you're doing something, but again, not too high to where we go into that cortisol spike zone, which can happen with HIIT training and high intensity cardio. We're trying to keep things a little bit lower intensity again, because hormonally, postpartum, your body's gone through a lot, right? So we want to respect that and give our body that optimal hormone levels to heal and be nourished throughout this stage. Rest. All right, moving to the end of the mat, we're gonna do an inchworm plank. So you're gonna start with your feet a little bit wider than your hips. We're gonna crawl forward into a plank or a bear plank. I'll show you both options. And then we're gonna crawl back up. So we're gonna sit into our squat first. We're reaching toward the floor, shoulders back and down, belly pulled in toward the spine, hinge. Go through that squat all the way into your plank, or tap the knees for the bear plank option. Crawl back through that squat. Stand up, let's do that again. So it's nice and slow. Hinge from the hips, all the way forward, plank here or here, crawl back. So this is really great for hip mobility. And then of course, we're getting that core, shoulders. If you've got diastasis recti, do the bear plank option instead of the full plank as I'm showing you. But if you've recovered your core, if you're further along postpartum, you can go ahead and do that full plank. Let's get one more in. Got a few seconds. All right, now come on up to standing again. We're gonna do a posterior swing. So posterior chain, this is like if you see a kettlebell or a dumbbell swing, we're gonna pretend we have a kettlebell or a dumbbell in both hands. So feet are a little bit wider, toes out. We're gonna swing that weight through the legs, thrust the hips, take it up to shoulders. So swing and thrust. So if you've done a kettlebell swing, a posterior swing, you know it's about your back body, posterior chain. So we're not squatting here. I'll show you the difference. You're hinging from your hip. This is a squat, this is a hinge. We're hinging, so we take that work into the glutes and hamstrings. You're gonna feel it so much more here. And we keep that chest up, shoulders back and down to keep that work in the back safely. Core is braced, and at the top, you notice hips are square under those shoulders. Here, not here. That way we don't take that work excessively into the low back. More than halfway there. And again, you can slow it down, but I want a quick thrust. So you can go slow here and then thrust quickly. Just do a little bit longer pause at the top to slow it down. Again, it's all about your rate of perceived exertion. How intense does it feel to you? I want it to feel no more than a 6. Rest. All right, we're gonna do a standing oblique crunch. You know I've gotta get the abs. So we're gonna start on the right side. We're gonna take both arms out, toe up in that right leg. Right arm is gonna come overhead. We're gonna bring that knee to the elbow. Notice I said knee to elbow, not elbow to knee. We're gonna keep that posture upright. Here we go. Crunch, crunch. When you tap that right foot, barely tap it. Keep most of that work in that standing left leg. That's gonna engage those core stabilizers, the glute. And then bring that elbow to knee, or knee to elbow. I just said the opposite of what I meant. Knee to elbow. Engage those obliques. So connecting the rib to the hip, pulling that belly button in toward the spine. Again, you wanna slow it down. Pause a little bit longer at the bottom, but again, I don't want you to shift here. That's taking that workload out of the core, out of the glute. We wanna keep it there as much as possible. But of course, if you need a break, please take it. Rather you take a break than keep going and compromise your technique. The opposite arm is out, but you can also place it on your hip, wherever is comfortable. You can also speed it up for a little more cardio as well, but I still want you to maintain that balance. That's the challenge. Rest. All right, we're gonna do a shuffle touchdown. So we're gonna start at the end of the mat. We're gonna shuffle, and I'll show you 2 options for a higher and a lower impact variation. So you can either step and touch the floor, or you can shuffle for the higher impact variation. Again, we're gonna go side to side, alternating, touching the hands. So alternating, touching. Now, you notice I get a little bit lower when I touch. What am I not doing? I'm not hunching, I'm squatting to get to the floor. And if you notice you don't have the mobility to do that, like you're trying to hunch over, take it here and just reach. Again, you can also, it's kind of like that monster walk, right? Just a little bit quicker with a reach. Or you can pick up the pace. If you get your feet mixed up, don't worry. I do that all the time. After all these years, I still get my feet mixed up, my rights and lefts mixed up, my mirroring mixed up. That's why exercise is more effective than math, because it makes you think way harder, I think, especially when you're teaching it. Almost there. Don't go breathless, but keep it going. Almost there. Last one. Rest. Whew. That one was challenging. Okay, we're gonna move to a squat thrust. So what we're gonna do here is squat, and then pretend like you have a heavy ball. We're gonna push it overhead. So feet wide here. That same sand ball, instead of throwing it down, we're gonna push it up and let it go toward the ceiling. Here we go, full squat, push. Squat, push. So if you actually had a ball, you would have to catch it and sit into your hips to absorb the weight. And you'd have to really push to get it to touch the ceiling. So think about that. Your ceilings might be higher than mine, but you're still going for it. Again, driving those hips under the shoulders, squeezing the glutes. You need to slow it down, really control that squat, quick thrust. But every time it's a quick push. Again, deeper in the squat is good too. If you can take those hips a little bit lower than the knees. Really get in to those hips, the back body a little bit more. Last one. Whew. We're going to the floor, bear squats. So you're gonna take your hands under your shoulders. We're gonna start in a plank position. If you've got diastasis recti, you'll start here in a bear plank. Here, for the advanced option, we're gonna push the hips back and then shift forward into that plank again. So push hips back and then drive forward. So you're pushing your butt toward your heels and then bringing shoulders over fingertips, bracing that core, shooting forward. You wanna slow it down, slow down the squat, focus on going low, 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 and then quick on that plank. Now, if it's too much pressure for your core, you've got coning or doming going on, I want you to drop your knees and come to a bear plank. And then you come back to that squat, and then you stop here in that quadruped position. And you can also, again, take a longer pause. There's no pressure, again, to do a certain number. Couple more here, we're almost there. Really good for the core, the hips, back body, rest. All right, come on back up to standing. We're gonna do a wide squat, sumo squat with a punch. So we're gonna squat down first, punch, and then punch. Catch your breath after that one. Some of these moves, you wouldn't even think they would be as challenging as they are, but they really are because they engage so many different muscle groups. Okay, here we go. Hands up, squat, punch. Squat, punch. Squat down, weight in the heels, and then lift that opposite heel and punch to the corner. So when we lift that heel up, we rotate to the corner. We're using that core. My punches are a little bit weak here, but you can definitely make them stronger and really wind up on that punch if you gotta take out some aggression, or you can give a little nice punch. I don't claim to be like MMA kickboxing person. So if you are, you're probably like, those punches are terrible. Well, that's not the workout. Just ways to make fun, cardio fun, and switch it up. And again, if you need to slow it down, give me a fierce punch still, but slow down that squat. Rotation allows us to get into that core. Again, the core is always the focus, always the foundation, especially postpartum. All right, we're gonna move to that standing C crunch. This time, we're gonna do the opposite side. Do you remember which one that was? For me, I did left, I'm gonna do right. So, right arm out, left arm up, left toe on the ground, leaning into that right hip just a little bit, abs tight. Let's do it, knee to elbow. Woo. That is real life, you guys. I fall over sometimes, and that's okay. It's your body negotiating balance. Getting stronger. Again, you can go slow, but I want that foot light on the ground as best as you can. Keep that weight here without leaning over. That's the challenge. But that's gonna allow you to engage that glute, side glute, again, the obliques, all good stuff. If you wanna make it a little more cardio, you can speed it up. But again, we wanna focus on that challenge, or that balance challenge. And then also, not too intense, not going breathless. Last one. All right, we are gonna move to the floor for a bear crawl. So, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna tuck those toes and then crawl forward 4 times, backwards 4 times. A little bit of coordination going on, so lift those knees, brace the core. 4 forward, 2, 3, 4, 4 backward, 4, 3, 2, 1. So knees are low. When you move the hand, opposite foot moves forward with it. Shoulder over wrist, knee under hip. We're trying to keep hips and shoulders square to the floor, moving slow and controlled, really quiet. Now, this one might be intense if you're newly postpartum or your core is really struggling. If so, do the baby crawl. You know what that looks like. Or maybe not, your baby might not be that old yet, but mine, she's been crawling for about 2 months now. She's 10 months old and she's getting way too fast for me to keep up with her. or to keep up with her without her getting into something first, is what I should really say. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, coming back to standing, edge of the mat. We're gonna do a stepping half burpee. So you've seen the burpee where you jump out and in, stand up, maybe you jump at the top. This, we're gonna squat down through it. We're gonna step, 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 stand up. Let's do it together. So we step back, we step in, deep squat, chest up, all the way up. Let's alternate the feet, so alternating which foot steps out and in first. Great for hip mobility when we come through that squat. Great for the core at the top. We're engaging that core, glutes. And again, when we come to the bottom, we're in that plank too, right? So we're getting all those muscles in the lower, upper body, and the core. Again, you don't realize how many of these exercises are so core centric and work all those muscle groups. And you notice your heart rate gets up without having to move super fast and crazy. Last one. Rest. Hope you guys enjoyed that 15 minutes. Give me a thumbs up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed it and also what workouts you would like to see next on my channel. Be sure to check out any of my other postpartum core workouts to add on to this workout for more core focus to heal and strengthen your core postpartum. See you back here next time for our next workout together.